Hi, hello, and welcome. We are broadcasting live from GlobalAIpreneurs, the premier global gateway and unified operating system for trusted AI enterprises. Right now, we are witnessing an unprecedented paradigm shift that AI landscape is expanding exponentially, stretching across 8 plus categories and over 120 distinct technologies. Yet, this explosion has brought an unintended bottleneck. Enterprise buyers are facing severe decision paralysis. Investors swimming unvetted noise, and brilliant founders remain isolated from the cross border institutional bridges they need to scale. The results are clear: capital inefficiency and deployment friction, promoted by the Global Council for the Promotion of International Trade and the Global Council for Artificial Intelligence and Robotics. Global AI Trainers was built to change that narrative. We are moving decisively past passive directories. We are a multi layer engagement engine spanning technical, operational reviews, and community rankings, connecting enterprise demand directly with trusted AI supply. Operating across our primary global hubs in India, Singapore, UAE, Saudi Arabia, the USA, the UK, Switzerland, the EU, South Africa, Kenya, Ghana, Nigeria. We are bridging the gap between raw potential and institutional deployments. Today, as part of our visionary interview series, we are charting the future of this ecosystem. Joining us is a leader embodies exactly what that means to build with high intent, high density, and absolute impact. Please welcome the global stage of our distinguished visionary speaker, Ganesh. Ganesh Shevade is the founder and CEO of Alta-Futuris Solutions, a global AI consulting firm focused on helping enterprises solve complex business challenges through generative AI, agentic AI, and expertise AI adoption. With over 3 decades of international leadership experience, he has advised Fortune 500 organizations, including Lloyd's Banking Group, Capital One, Credit Suisse, and State Farm Insurance, leading large-scale digital transformation, customer experience, intelligent operations, and AI-driven business innovation initiatives. He is the author of Boardroom of Agentic Enterprise Transformation, a practical guide for business leaders navigating enterprise AI adoption, and the founder of the Future Transformation Hub, a global community dedicated to accelerating AI transformation for senior executives and organizations worldwide. Throughout his career, Ganesh has mentored startups, advised CXOs, and builds frameworks that helps organizations successfully transition from legacy operations to AI enterprises. Thank you for Ganesh for joining us today.
Thank you, Krishna, for a pretty good introduction of mine. And I would like to add one more thing only here. Since my 3 decades of experience and in a multi-directional, I would say multi-domain, now at a stage right now, I'm taking a stand about AI adoption in a comprehensive way. Okay. And this comprehensive way also leads me to start the Future Transformation Hub. This is not for just AI that we are talking about. There are many more AI-related revolution is going to happen in future. 2027, 2028, you might see on the horizon AGI also. So this Future Transformation Hub is going to address all these revolution part. So I'll briefly put upon this my vision. Alta-Futuris Solutions, I'll quickly put the history of it. I started this venture in 2019. Now it is completed 7 years. And we started the AI that was just at the crux of inflection point in 2019. What we are seeing right now in 2026, and when we started 2019, there is a remarkable difference in the AI as a technology per se. Now, when I say about the AI adoption and end-to-end business transformation, currently in 2026, it is going hand in hand. In 2019, when I started this venture, it was not that story. It was considered as a separate enablement part for the business. Now it is embedded into business transformation. So during this entire journey, we are having multiple stages that we went through this complete transformation of the businesses as well as growth of Alta-Futuris Solutions. So what you are seeing on the screen, Droid, Salesforce, Copado, ServiceNow, is all nothing but a kind of a platforms where we integrate AI and deliver the solutions through these platforms. These are the very well-known platforms in the world. We are partners with them, and when we partner with them, their entire focus is on the enterprise solution delivery. So generative AI, Salesforce, and ServiceNow. These are the three prominent technical verticals that we have in Alta-Futuris Solutions. So I covered most of it, but a little bit more information about Alta-Futuris. We have offices in USA, Austin, Texas, and as well as in Pune in India. And along with that, the industries that we target: manufacturing, automotive, education, media, professional services, and any other vertical that is coming under the enterprise businesses. So our focus always has been, since the inception till now, is about delivering the solutions to the enterprises. And that's what we have this Salesforce, Copado, ServiceNow, and Tui as a part of this entire enterprise solutioning as a service. Now, this is a little bit about Salesforce, Generative, and ServiceNow. I will not go into much details. I will quickly move to the practical experience that we got now in terms of use cases. So prominently, if you see the AI journey since 2019 till now, there are two parts now: 2019 to 2023 January and 2023 January till now. Why? Because before 2023 January, there was a conventional AI. We used to do it image processing, we used to do it NLP-based solutioning services. 2023 onwards, ChatGPT came along on the horizon. And then after that, immediately the LLMs. After that, many foundation models came into the picture, and that changes the entire game. So what you are seeing on the screen right now, AI dash generative AI, that's a combination. So initially we worked with the conventional AI models, open source models, and later on we transitioned entire our journey towards generative AI based development. So two only major use cases I can prominently tell you about, because this is a generative AI world right now. One is the generative AI driven legal outreach analysis agent. There is a law firm in USA, a prominent law firm, and because of the nature of the business they are in, they cannot outreach to their prospects openly. When I say openly, they cannot put advertisement on the newspapers or anywhere, but they have to somehow understand and reach out to their prospects, and they want to help not only for the outreaching, they want to see how the technology can help them to analyze their entire cases also, the cases that they fought in the various courts in the United States. So they approached us with this problem statement and asked whether we can do some analysis and do some research and come with a solution. We found a solution in terms of there are 5 sources that we have. Any accident that happens in the United States at any highways, any expressways, any state highways, there are 5 sources that record that incident. Google Maps, second is the Opera system, third is a LexisNexis, fourth is a Twitter or X. Any passerby who is seeing this accident will take a photograph or video and put it on the X platform. These are the 4 ones, and 5 is the police report. All these elements of sources can get information to us through APIs. So that was our first task. We got the APIs connected and get all the data from time to time for all these incidences. Next job was through generative AI, create a mapping of this metadata so that we can define at this point of time. Let's say this is currently 12:40 p.m. IST in India on 23rd of July. Exactly at that point of time, which are the data points which are getting connected. And this is not a straightforward query resolution kind of a job in technical sense, because there is a humongous data that is coming to the source from all the sources and in our data warehouse. So we use generative AI to make sure that this analysis can be done very fast, and the timestamp mapping with the relevant story can come into our analysis phase or summary phase. USA has 50 states. This pilot program we ran it for 2 states. And we got the result almost 70% accuracy. The reason is out of 5 sources, if 3 sources are getting mapping the data correctly with the timestamp, we used to declare that this is exactly that we are looking at. Now, once the data is received, this data will be sending it to the marketing team of this law firm, and they used to do further analysis to reach out to the end customer or end prospect. Now, this we have done in the periphery of the law firms as a proof of concept. They are going right now at this moment to the investor and talking to them more funding so that they can launch this solution for entire United States under a new entity. As a law firm, they cannot release this particular solutioning under their own entity because of the regulations. So they are going to create a new firm, but before that they need to get an investment and then they will proceed further. So this is how we help. We help the enterprises using generative AI, using generative AI adoption to help them to solve their issues, solve their problems, and maybe going forward, we can see how this particular model that we are devised as a solution can be mapped to the any other vertical in any other domain. Second is the domain-based AI assistant, which we have launched it. It's for insurance as well as a law firm. And because of this domain-based assistant that we launched, that's why the first use case that I spoke about, the law firm approached us. Now, domain-based AI assistant, what they do actually, see in the insurance domain, there are many facets and many threads are there. You got a health insurance, you got a home insurance, auto insurance, and so many insurance include. There are insurance for the professional services also. Each service, each insurance category has a different mandate, different way of approaching to understand their problems from the consumer as well as address them. Now, for a common person, if I got some query, typically I will lift the phone or send a message or send an email to my insurance agent inquiring about certain things. But what if there are disputes? What if there are certain things that are not covered in insurance, but I'm not aware of it? Because this is a typically complicated way. There are terms and conditions which are hidden, which common person is not aware of it. How to handle this situation? So this is exactly what we have done with the domain-based, like insurance-based AI agent that we launched. Currently, it is only for the home insurance and health insurance. But auto insurance is next one that is coming up. But home insurance, why? Because in India, home insurance has a kind of a neglected insurance, and normally people don't know about this. Unless and until something happens and somebody tells you, okay, you got a theft at your house, you got a fire at your house, you could have been covered with if you would have insurance. Then the person goes and buys insurance. This is kind of a neglected area. So we launched this to make awareness also, to ensure that whatever the queries that any consumer like me have, that can be addressed upfront. And the second is health insurance. Health insurance again has a many threads to it. The common person doesn't understand it. So that's why we launched this AI agents for the consumer. So if you see, we work for the B2C also and B2B also. But at the end of the day, technology should help the common person as well as the businesses. That's the motto. Next is the AgriTech AI agent, which we developed before 2023. And this is for a firm which are the competitors for John Deere. The founders came out of the John Deere, established their own startup. Their objective was very straightforward: to make tractors, automated tractors and automated agriculture equipment available to Indian customers at a very low cost. Whatever the cost is John Deere is stating for the Indian customers or Indian farmers may not be able to afford it. So affordability is one factor where they're driving down their competition with John Deere. We help them to develop an AI agent to do predictive analytics. This was done in a conventional model using NLP. We call it AI agent because it's a simple chatbot that we have utilized, and it was on the LCD screen that the operator drives the tractor, where all this agricultural harvesting, baling, these kind of operations happen. So operators can see on the LCD screen and touch it and make sure that whatever field he's operating, because in the field it is uneven. You can't get the viewpoint of the field like a rectangular or square shape. It is uneven. So the operator gets the input from this AI agent on the screen itself. So these are some sample use cases I'm speaking about, what we have developed it. I'll move further because time is as a constraint. Next vertical that we have in the Salesforce. Salesforce is an enterprise CRM platform, #1 in the world. But along with the Salesforce, we have developed several things with the AI itself. Okay, so they have Agentforce is the one facet where you can develop the agents using that Agentforce and deploy it at whatever solution you want. So there is a leading K-12 school chain in the United States. They have around 14 brands under their name and 400 campuses. For them, we have utilized it. Second is a healthcare organization in USA where they want to synchronize all the service providers. If healthcare is a big facets, a big organization where multiple things come into picture. So their Salesforce has a different org for different operations. We synchronize all these orgs. So for the user, it could be seamless operation using AI. And there is a Salesforce Cloud Performance Optimizing. So for the automotive organization in UK. So many use cases that we have delivered, practical use cases that currently our clients, enterprise as well as startups are using it right now. So Sushma, I would like to go for this in the mail that you have mentioned about 3 to 5 horizon scalability. I would like to address through this presentation. Is this okay for you?
Yeah, sure.
Okay. So for the 3 to 5 horizon, where the AI is going to lead. Okay. So here is my 4 areas it can cover up next 2 to 5 years. Before jumping to these 4 areas, what are the basis for these 4 areas? Okay, so in the bottom of the slide, there are 3 pillars I have mentioned. Business implication, technology implication, and watch list. What are these 3? So when you say business implications, as soon as you come into the AI agent ecosystem, you have to redesign the roles and processes that already you have doing it. In a sense, you have to make sure that currently, as of now speaking, many of the banks, many of the financial institutions are using AI agents for their own development or own work. Even for the consumers also deployed AI agents. But they make sure another interdependency that human force that you have has to have different roles to monitor these AI agents. And the processes has to be also changed, right? So in a human plus agent environment, the business implications are there. Second, technology implications. You have to have reusable AI controls. What it means that in the year 2005 onwards until 2020, we in the enterprise development, we used to have a word called reusable components. Now that era is moved forward with the reusable AI controls. So whatever the enterprise has right now, it could be wrapped around and moved to some other department, and that department also can utilize it. You can utilize the same. Obviously, there are some cost implications about tokens and everything that will take into the next level. But the reusability has some areas where the data access, orchestration, observability, security, and governance also can be wrapped around. A reusable component that we have done it in the enterprise world till 2020 has got a similar facets. Everything was there. The orchestration is coming now as a newly feature for the AI agents. But that experience also we can utilize it so that technology implications are also there. Third is a watch list. Now you see AI agents right now are based on the manual intervention. Some processes are there where you need a manual intervention. Some processes you don't need a manual intervention. But when you go further in the next 3 to 5 years, you need to have kind of a watch list or catalog. And that catalog itself will provide you which AI agent I need to use without manual intervention, which AI agent used with the manual intervention at what point of time. So it's a watch list that needs to be there. And this watch list is a must for any organization who wants to go forward for agentic AI enterprise adoption. Now, these three pillars are there. Let's go to the what are the things envisioned for the next 3-5 years. Where currently has many of the enterprises are heavily dependent on co-pilots. It will move to the autonomous execution. So what is autonomous execution is about end-to-end process deployment. AI agents will drive end-to-end. Now, it could be anything as simple as attendance or leave applications, getting approval, or as complex as setting up the meetings. Once the meetings are there, recording the minutes, sending the action items to those relevant folks, and follow up with the action items before the next regular meeting happens. And these are the just simple examples I've named, but there are many complexities arrive in terms of many certain domains. Healthcare has many manual interventions are needed based on the parameters they are collecting or data they are collecting. But interestingly, this will move management focus from deploying tools to governing digital labor, because this will accelerate the globalization and localization. I will come to that term globalization, localization. That's a mixture of both. But this is what is going to happen as end-to-end execution. Next is the second point is a control shift to the ecosystem. In any enterprise, you will see there are multiple foundation models, multiple domain agents, and so many factors that are coming in a technical manner. But at the end of the day, what they are going to do, there are 4 things are remaining here: data access, orchestration quality, and outcome reliability. These are pretty common. This has to be defined. So when I say defined, it has to be defined in an ecosystem way. When you have an ecosystem of all tools, all foundation models, domain agents, and so many things are coming into picture, then you need to have an ecosystem to monitor all these things. And that's why this differentiation will come from the data access, orchestration quality, and reliability. Third, will happen in the next 3 to 5 years. Scalability will run on trust and unit economics. In manufacturing, we talk about unit economics. In SaaS business, we talk about unit economics. In next 3 to 5 years, this unit economics will be the word that will be measured as a productivity in all enterprises across the world because of the AI agent deployment. Why? Because this who is going to deploy more efficiently, that will industrialize the governance without slowing the business. The unit economics that we talk in the production floors or in the SaaS business, in the cost side of it, the business is already running. So you have to change certain things in the back end so that your unit economics can improve and it can be applicable to any business, because now we are having a human plus AI agent, that is the environment. Fourth item, AI competition will become a structurally multi-layer or multipolar. So what is happening is that currently the AI adoption is pocketed on the certain departments or certain headquarters or certain regions. It will become a multipolar. Everybody will jump in, but at the same time, the speed, the localization, and ecosystem partnership, that will be driven at the local, but entire effort will be driven by global. So glocalization is the word that I'm going to use it in next couple of slides also. But this is what's going to happen. So deployment will be localized, but the innovation will be globalized. Normally, if you see in the GCC world in India, currently the innovation happened at the local and they take it to the global headquarters. But I think this entire glocalization will have certain aspects where both teams will be synergized to each other. So the labs, open source community, sovereign platforms, or regional champions, it will be shared across the market. So these are the 4 ways the AI will move into as a next stage of evolvement. Now, when we see 3 to 5 years of journey, let's say how businesses can scale up in this AI journey. So 3 pillars are there for this journey. Any enterprise, it's a small, medium, large. If you take it into the consideration of whether they have decided to go for full-fledged AI adoption or partially, because once you partial, you have to go to the next stage. But at the same time, there are 3 things that dictate that decision about the scaling, moving to the next stage, always. Strategic decisions, technical decisions, and ethical governance. Why strategical? Because it's a way you have to monitor your business alignment also. Obviously, anybody who is doing AI adoption will look for a business outcomes from ROI point of view. So centralized core engine, regional localization, and multi-tenant prompts. These are the 3 factors where the strategic decision will define the scaling also. But strategic decisions cannot alone decide the next level of scale. It has to embed with the technical decision. So data residency involves federated ML ops pipeline. When I say federated, the ML ops operation has to be controlled as a centralized way of running the operations across, where even if you are across the world operations, ML ops has to define in a way where the regional can take it from there, but align with the centralized or federated ML policy. Low latency deployment. This is a very important factor for technical decisions, because right now, many of the use cases are struggling to get a ROI because of the very high latency. The sub 50 milliseconds, that's the word, that's the bar that they have to cross it. So technical decisions for scaling up also are very much important for the scaling. Third point is very important from the AI standpoint, and this is debated across the world right now about the governance. More importantly, from the ethical governance. What is ethical AI, right? So since it's ethical AI is debatable, and at any point of time the ethical way can be contested, the risk tier compliance nature has to be there. When I say risk tier, there are many regions have their own compliances, EU Act, US NIST, and many other local jurisdictional standards are there. One has to maintain that to make sure that whenever they are scaling up, they should not hamper their entire scaling of operations. Algorithm lineage and differential privacy. Now, organizational lineage has related to the decision logs, how the decisions are made and what level they are made, and also along with that, the data sets that you have, there could be multiple data sets coming into picture. And this is very important in many domains: financial services, insurances, banking, healthcare, logistics, where compliance is at the foremost level. Next comes under the ethical governance and differential privacy. So personal data protection is the prime word right now. And this, you cannot ignore it. Whether any compliance standards are there or not there, it doesn't matter. From your side, from the organization side, for the scaling up, this is the must. You have to have that protection within your system. So strategic decisions, technical decisions, and ethical governance. These are the 3 things which defines the scaling up for the next level. The scaling up is the word normally used in enterprise world to go big bang. I would say that big bang approach is no more existing. You cannot do that with the AI adoption. It has to go with the one thing at a time. And the definition could be right from, let's say, 90-day sprint to 180-day sprint, moving to the next 180-day sprint, moving to the next 180-day sprint. But this could be different at different organizations. But these are the 3 things which define the scaling movement. Now, next comes is the ecosystem synergy. Okay, how Alta-Futuris can help global AIpreneurs. Okay. Alta-Futuris, as I stated, working closely with the enterprises, and we work with many startups also, funded startups. And our reach is with the US customers, Europe customers, UAE also, APAC also. But with this, all this technically expertise, we also contribute to the AI readiness for the organization. When I say AI readiness, we try to understand from the CXO point of view whether they are ready from their point of view. Because as well, we need to understand what they are doing in their own world to suggest something to them to go to the next level. First baseline has to be produced. So what these 6 categories that I mentioned, where Alta-Futuris can help to global AI entrepreneurs. I'll just quickly walk through it. First is the executive AI leadership, and I am already conducting a CXO master classes. AI readiness, I already pointed out. We can talk with the CXOs to understand their AI readiness. Board advisory. Sometimes the board members have limited understanding of AI technology. Obviously, board members have different work altogether. We may not expect them to be technically very savvy, but at the same time, somewhere the board advisory has to be there in terms of what their vision is from the business. Sometimes in the startup world, the board and the CXOs are pretty much same, but most of the times in the middle level and large organizations, there are different entities altogether. Because the governance frameworks, they kept it differently. But this advisory we also can do. Enterprise transformation assessments. We can do AI assessment at the department level, organization level, regional level, CX level. All kind of assessments we can do it because everybody has a different level of understanding as well as different level of objectives and mandates at department level, regional level, CXO level. Change management. It's a big one in the AI adoption. When you do enterprise transformation through AI, a lot of things go under change. It's not a normal transformation because humans are working with the AI agents. That never happened earlier in any other enterprise transformation world. Before 2023, enterprise transformation was simply as deployment of new tool, application, or global changes. AI agents were never in the picture. Now AI agents are coming into picture. That's why change management has to look into different manner. And that's exactly the reason use cases also would be there. What kind of a use case you are talking about? Because now you are working along with the AI agents. Research and policy. This is the third area we can contribute. White papers, definitely we can release it on behalf of global AIpreneurs. Standards. Many standards are existing in the world right now for AI adoption also. ISOs are also leading the way. But there is certain elements come into picture where different standards we can contribute with the global players. Global AIpreneurs can associate with many of these organizations. ISO standards, just for the namesake, I have taken one example, to develop the standards exclusively for the AI adoption. So this contribution, we can do it voluntarily from our side also. Ethical AI, another big piece. I just mentioned in the last slide how the ethical governance is required. We can also contribute on the research side for the ethical AI. If any government is taking part into defining the policy, we can voluntarily suggest our name to tell them we can also contribute in your policy making or policy understanding or any kind of policy review also. Next is the startup and innovation. I was involved in the startup, my own startup, as well as startup community since 2012. So almost 14 years have elapsed, but still I'm connected with the startup community. So mentoring, incubation, and investor connect, definitely we can contribute. Global partnership, academia, industry, and government. I briefly mentioned this in the research and policy, but global partnership can also involve in the academic sector, industry sector, government. Government obviously is the one we always can go for it voluntarily. But at the same time, industry, there are certain industry boards, industry forums, they have created to monitor how the AI is moving. So the ecosystem synergy, definitely we should be aligned with the global players here. Okay, not just arising from India, any part of the world. India Ambassador Network. We have several networks available in India. NASCOM is one, STEP is one, SEEP is one, many others. But there are city chapters there are events happening, there are communities are there. We can contribute with certain keynote speaking or certain sessions that we conduct. So this could be embedded into India specific ambassador network. So in a nutshell, what we are bringing here, capability building, enterprise consulting, and transformation frameworks. What is the value that we are offering in a global AI? Rapid ecosystem growth. Certain aspects that Alta-Futuris and myself can bring in, how to make sure that this ecosystem can go rapidly. There are certain ideas, certain frameworks also we can establish where we can grow it rapidly. Executive outreach. I have network, not only my own LinkedIn network, there are certain people which are beyond LinkedIn network also, I know. At the executive position, we can reach out to them. Industry adoption. Certain domains are ready to go for AI adoption if we bring in lot many mentoring and lot many domain expertise to them. And time again, I have seen CXOs were saying, do we know somebody in this particular area? It is not about resourcing. They want certain understanding what other players are doing in this market. So this is an industry adoption. How the industry is adopting, they would like to also know. And we also can help them. So what jointly we can do? We can do AI-ready enterprises, skilled AI-preneurs, and global collaboration. That's the thing Alta-Futuris is offering right now. So Sushma, I'm moving to questions that you have. Is it okay if I move on to the questions?
I'll ask questions, so you can just quit the presentation. So I'll ask questions and we'll move.
Yeah, I have put in the slides for it. Is that okay? You can ask the question, no problem. Is that okay, or should I answer it on the fly?
It's better that you can like stop the presentation where I'll ask questions. It will be most one-on-one. It will show more effective.
Great. I'm stop sharing now.
Yeah.
Sure. Tell me.
Yes. So thank you, Ganesh, first of all, on that insightful and inspiring presentation on your experience and your expertise in enterprise transformation and journey adoption and global business leadership. So it has the valuable perspectives of our global AIpreneurs community. So I have a few questions on based on your presentation, and I have questions that it's have. So many organizations are aesthetic about generative AI, about struggle to move beyond experimentation based on your experience, advising Fortune 500 companies and global enterprises. What are the biggest barriers preventing successful enterprise AI adoption, and how can business leaders overcome them?
Great. So this AI movement has picked up since 2023, and it's a gradual way of moving along, but 2026 has seen it's kind of an inflection point, I would say. In any adoption curve, any new technology, there has to be some inflection point where not only everybody is talking about, everybody is talking about what steps they have taken. Now, the major factor in all these things is that business strategy and leadership readiness. These two factors are very prime important. Many times what happens, enterprises talk about technology alone. Okay, I will cite some examples. I have been to many conferences and many roundtables. What the people ask me, CXO level, is that, okay, Ganesh, tell me, if Enterprise Cloud is super fast or supreme in all other compared to all other things, that means they're inclined to the technology side of it. My take on this is that if the business strategy that they have and a business outcome they are envisioning, that should be discussed first rather than AI tools. Whether this can be achieved to Claude, ChatGPT, or OpenAI models, or Gemini models, or meta models, that's a latter discussions. First, they need to decide on the business outcome. What's the decision they have? Second is a leadership readiness. The reason is that in the leadership readiness, you need to also understand whether all leaders that you have are aware of what kind of things you are developing further. It should not be the way that after 2 months of this AI adoption, leadership is stumbling to understand what exactly we are doing here. So business strategy, leadership readiness, these are the two prime importance. The next immediate level is the data foundation and responsible AI. Why? Because data foundation talks technically, but at the same time, one has to understand in an enterprise, what is the quality of this data? What is the governance that we are doing right now? Before moving and talking about the program itself, what currently we are doing and what is the integration? If data is in silo space at every pockets of the organization, AI adoption will not work. And that has to be defined and decided what is the data foundation that we have. And first and foremost item they need to discuss, if we are going ahead with the any AI adoption, what is the responsible AI that we are talking about? This comes under strengthening the security and compliance and ethics. Which are the compliances that we have to meet to go forward the AI adoption, and ethics that we have to maintain, so that everybody under that program will understand. It's a code of honor, I would say, in a short word. Code of honor has to be there. So 4 elements to be very important: business strategy, leadership readiness, data foundation, and responsible AI. This translates into the kind of an enterprise AI transformation framework. And that's what's the key from going from AI experimentation to leadership scale AI adoption.
Thank you. Thank you for sharing that perspective, that valuable insight as well. So, moving to my next question, your book, Boardroom of Agentic Enterprise Transformation, explores how organizations can evolve into AI driven enterprises. As agentic AI becomes a strategic priority, what practical roadmaps would you recommend for organizations that want to adopt autonomous AI responsibility while maintaining governance and business control?
So typically, while writing a book, I'll give you insights of why I wrote this book. Because when I conducted a roundtable in 29th January 2026 in Dubai, several questions came to me, okay, saying that our board has dictated these things. What should I do? One of the senior vice president of a very large bank from Dubai had a one-to-one discussion with me, telling me that their board of directors are willing to pay or allocate $2 million of funding for the AI adoption, but he's denying that. The only reason is that he didn't find the data governance is up to the mark in that organization. And until and unless that data governance is managed in a efficient manner, he's not willing to take up that funding. Now, this is just an example I took, but that realization came to me that something has to be given to the CXO world as a framework, practical framework I will talk about, to go for from boardroom discussions to the actual agentic enterprise transformation. Now, my advice would be in this entire context is that there are certain governance principles everybody has to manage. First is a human accountability. Second is a explainable decisions. Why explainable decisions? Because why you have taken this stand or why you have taken this particular AI adoption and the results out of it, somebody has to explain, right? There is a risk-based autonomy. When somebody says, I am doing AI adoption, I am automating this task, and autonomy has certain risks also. You cannot give 100% autonomy for the areas, for the workflows, which has certain risk element embedded into it. There has to be some manual intervention. Security and privacy is another most important thing, because unless and until you have good security built around the access rights and provisioning for the escalation modes, security and privacy is completely in ignorance. You have to have continuous monitoring and business first governance. In a governance, there is a rule. There are many rules in the governance framework, but business first has to be framework. So governance where my advice always would be. So AI transformation is a leadership journey and increasing autonomy progressively. You can't give autonomy right at the first day. It has to go gradually. Even if you know very well that autonomy would work 100%, still it has to be gradual mode. And the governance has to scale up the trust across the board. So these are the three things I would say.
It's a very interesting way to look at it. Moving to my next question based on your presentation. So you mentioned that the future competitive advantage will shift from individual AI models to the surrounding ecosystem. So how should startups and enterprise begin building these AI ecosystems today to remain competitive over the next 3 to 5 years?
Okay, so many things that is happening in the particular, I would say, in the startup world. See, the startup world is very tricky world, and many startups have jumped in, and I'm happy to see that these startups are jumping in, creating something valuable. One of the first thing which I learned entire my journey. This is my second startup venture, and the first startup venture was 12 to 15. But important aspect is what is the business outcome that you are delivering to your clients. Ultimately, the two human beings, why they do business. One provides the service or product solution, other gets benefit out of it, and that's why the payment happens. There is a human to human interaction. Even if that business is a SaaS model, maybe Flipkart, where we are doing some decisions automatically, but at the end of the day, who has devised that system? It's a human only, right? Human who has got that concept idea in his brain, and that human itself has created that system. So the business outcome and business strategy for their customers, this is the first and foremost thing. That's the only thing I can see. The rest of the things that can follow up after you manage this business outcome for your clients.
That's an interesting way to look at it. So moving to my next question. Having worked extensively with both global enterprises and startup ecosystems, you have witnesses the different challenges each faces. So what advice would you give AI startups looking to build enterprise-ready solutions that can successfully scale across international markets and earn the trust for large organizations?
Okay, so typically what happens when somebody who is developing for enterprises, see, enterprise is a very complex world altogether. You need to understand who are the stakeholders. There could be panel of stakeholders, there could be hierarchy of the stakeholders. So you approach one stakeholder, there will be another stakeholder that you have to approach. The important aspect that anybody has to go through this particular way, there are few critical success factors while talking to any enterprise. Like I said before, business first is a mindset. You talk with them with the business first. Technology cannot be a differential factor anymore when you talk about right now agentic AI, because enterprises also have their own team to develop the agentic AI. You're also providing solutions to the enterprise with the same agentic AI. But if you talk about a business to business, it has to be business first. Second, whatever you're going with as a product or solution, it has to have and must enterprise grade security. And third thing is about interoperability. See, enterprises have legacy systems also. When I say legacy systems, not just pointing to mainframes, which is banks are using or big organizations using. I'm talking about some system they have for last 10 years and they don't want to change it. But your solution, your product has to integrate with that particular legacy system. And that's why the interoperability is far more important in technical way. And as soon as you enter into discussion with the enterprises, just upfront, you should have confidence, also have plan to give them 90 days measurable outcome. This is where you are going to win. If you provide them a roadmap of 90 days measurable outcome, they will look at it as a quantitative justification what you are telling them. And that's what the summarization is. The critical success factor for all these 4 categories has to be there when they approach the enterprises.
Yeah, thank you for highlighting those points. So, moving to our next question, you have spent decades helping organizations navigate digital transformation across industries and geographies. So, looking ahead over the next 3 to 5 years, how do you see generative AI and agentic AI fundamentally reshaping enterprise decision making, workforce productivity, and customer experience?
Okay. So I'll go one by one. Decision making.
Yes.
It will be the predictive, right? So predictive nature of business is there for a long, long time. Okay. So all the executives, all the leadership in the enterprises talk about predictability because they need to have visibility for next quarter or next year. The predictability is going to happen in a different way here. It will be scenario based. When I say scenario based, when you have agentic AI working along with the humans, there is a certain element of predictive is already there while working with the AI agents. AI agents typically can work 24/7. Okay, that's the ultimate. Humans can work only by 8 hours a day. If you look at ideal scenario, because of the nature of the AI agents can go to 24/7. That's why the scenario will change in each of the use cases. So decision making will be fast, predictiveness will be fast, and it will be AI augmented. So somebody in the last week I had on a conference asked me, will the decision making be done by AI itself? I would say no. Decision making has to be done by human because humans are driving right now the business as of now speaking. AI agents are not driving the business. AI agents are supporting your business. Second is about workforce. As I stated earlier, humans and AI agents are working together. That will bring the higher productivity. I'm not talking about layoffs or anything other because that's a different ballgame altogether. If you talk about current workforce that you have, if you embed AI agents in their work, you can expect higher productivity from that entire combination. And third is a customer experience. Customer will get proactive experience and it will be more and more personalized and more autonomous. Many examples I can give it here. Okay, so credit card industry is the one probably will jump in with this aspect. We have got virtual credit cards right now. The using of virtual credit cards is more and more increasing. That's a customer experience itself, enhancement. But as you walk, okay, with your smartphone in any of the malls here, you might get using that credit card, whichever you credit card you have, you might get offers on the fly. Okay. I'm talking about certain augmentation here, autonomous augmentation here. But this is what adds to the customer experience. Now, customer might get irritated. He has an option of to stop that particular bombardment. If that person is wants to do only about certain fashion things or something, they can choose their own option. But customer experience will be proactive here and more personalized here. So these are the 3 things I can specify.
Yeah, thanks for those excellent points to exposing another important aspect in the last question. So, Global AI Trainers aims to become one of the world's leading ecosystems connecting AI founders, enterprises, investors, governments, and innovation leaders. Based on your experience mentoring founders, advising CXOs, and building AI transformation frameworks, what role should platforms like Global AI Trainers or startups play in accelerating trusted AI commercialization and creating globally scalable AI businesses?
Okay, so I would answer in a different way. See, global AI entrepreneurs has, I would say, five elements to work with, and already they have a policy written for the same. But I will reiterate in a different way. Connections with the founders, enterprises, and investors. This is the first thing. Second is the transformation with the leadership. And with that transformation comes the skill development and developing the ecosystem. Ecosystem plays a big part for scaling up in a global level. Every global phenomena, solution, platform, company, you say they go with the ecosystem, just like Apple's ecosystem that we have. It's an ecosystem. Everything is pretty closed within their ecosystem. That's why it flourishes. Next is the governance is it's based on the trust. So you go to the trust factor, governance is automatically going to establish. But you work with the standards, create the standards, and go for the responsible AI. Responsible AI is the big area in next 3 to 5 years. This is a kind of a non-technical area, but it drives down the factor where all organizations need help and need a contribution. Big one is the scale. Next item is the scale. Okay, you go to the global market. Where the global market is. Okay, that obviously we know on the prima facie. Dig one level down, we can also formalize where the niche global market is happening. You become partners with them and ask for the funding also, or maybe we can collaborate with some investor group itself. And last item is the validate. You launch a pilot programs. The pilot programs can be having a short duration like 3 months, but that pilot programs will launch give you the business value, addressing certain use cases. Now this can be done technically also, this can be done through management also. So this is what the 5 pillars I'm talking about, where the global AIpreneurs becomes a global operating system for the trusted AI commercialization. So commercialization is the factor here. It's commercialization is the center. Along with this, all these 3 to 5 things can be done.
I think that gives our audience a lot of reflect on. What an experiential and thought-provoking conversation with Ganesh. To our visionary speaker, Ganesh, thank you. Thank you for sharing your valuable expertise and global perspective with the global AIpreneurs community. Your insights into enterprise AI adoption, agentic AI transformation, business innovations, and leadership provided an inspiring roadmap for organizations navigating the next era of intelligent enterprises. So, to everyone joining us from around the world, thank you for being part of today's session. The future of artificial intelligence will be shaped not only by technological breakthroughs, but also by international collaborations and responsible governance and shared innovations. If you are an AI founder, investor, an innovator, or enterprise leader looking to become a part of this growing global ecosystem, we invited you to join us, Global AIpreneurs. Thank you for joining us today. Until next time, keep innovating, keep collaborating, and together let's build a trusted global AI future. Thank you, Ganesh. Thank you for joining us today.
Thank you, Sushma. Thanks, Global Enterprise. Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah.